Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the Ocean's Deep Woo. I am the Ocean, and you are my audience, I guess. Hi, and who have we got so far? We've got Pam Smith and Claudia C.J. Miller. Hi there. Okay, we're going to have Robin in just a minute. Let me do my little blurb. Tonight, we're going to have Robin returning again for yet another time because we love Robin. We can't get enough Robin. You know that she's one of our favorite cryptid people. Very talented Sasquatch whisperer. And this is Ocean's Deep Woo, where we do the deepest of woo. And basically, tonight's woo is going to be Sasquatch woo and cryptid woo. Okay. So let's see. Well, we're experiencers here. We like experiencers. We respect experiencers. If you have an experience that you'd like to tell us about, we do every kind of woo from cryptids to UFOs, spirits, whatever, weird stuff, ancient artifacts, whatever you got. We even some conspiracy facts, because let's face it, we're not, most of them won't be theories much longer. You know, I had to dump all of my conspiracy theories because they all became facts, and, you know, now I got no theories. No, I do have some theories. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, we'll entertain those too. We just have to be careful how we talk about them. Because otherwise things can happen, bad things can happen. But anyway, um okay, so I have to say that this is um only tips, tricks, and hacks for the massively multiplayer total immersion VR holofractal learning game called Life on Planet Earth. And has nothing to do with real life, which takes place outside the Matrix, right? So, boy, my hair looks absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. This is just how I can't even go to the place with the better lighting because my phone is still having charging issues, and so it's gonna have to stay plugged in for the whole show. Sorry about your luck and mine too. Anyway, oh, Gemini's just listening. You don't have you don't have your butt kicking boots on for tonight, your modding boots? It's okay, love. You don't have to say much. Gemini Moon is saying, I'm just here listening. She's not talking. You can't get anything out of her. No, sir. No, sure. She ain't talking. No, I'm kidding. Um, anyway, you came to see Robin. You're going to see Robin because it looks like she's in here. Yay. Okay. Things are actually working out. And happy Mercury retrograde, by the way. We're in it, and we're going to be in it for another couple of weeks. So let's just deal with it. Here's Robin.
Hey,
And there you go. And we're in.
how's
How you
everybody
doing,
tonight?
Robin?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. How's the audience out there?
Crazy
Um,
boy.
we've got Pam Smith, Claudia C.J. Miller, and Gemini Moon so far, and probably other people will be filing in as time goes on. But it doesn't really matter. We're just here to tell the truth, and if you miss it, you're going to have to see the replay. So that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
We're here. So, but usually a lot of people, it takes them a while to get get that we're on, and then it's like, oh, hey, they're on, because I don't know what goes on, how this goes. Well, I don't even get all of my notifications that I'm supposed to get, but that's just the medium. What are you going to do? Anyway, so how's it been out in the Sasquatch territory?
It's been so hot. We're still in the really hot weather here. It's miserable. We live on the sun. And so during the day, I don't want to say they're completely quiet, but they're quieter. They're not nocturnal, regardless of what everybody thinks. They get active at night because they're
It's
less likely
cooler.
to be seen. I've
You
had
can't
more
see them.
sightings. Yeah, I've had more sightings during the day than I have at night. They're not nocturnal at all, but they, kind of lay low in the heat. I hear them out in the woods during the day a little bit. I get knocking on the wall a lot on the side of the house, but they've been more active at night. It's starting to cool off a little bit at night. It's still in the 70s at night, but it's better than the 90s to the hundreds that were, doing during the day. So they seem to be doing pretty good.
Okay.
I think it was last time I was here is when I got the picture of the two children that were playing, the two kids that were back by the back of the property, and they were out there
Um,
playing.
I'm trying to remember. Did we get those pictures up in here? Because we put everything you send me, I put in MeWe.
I put it in the
So
group, I
people
think.
can look
I
at it.
think I did put it in group,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Because we want to see. We want to. You know what? I don't know. I haven't been out enough. It's been hot here too. And
Yeah.
then we get the mosquito.
My tablet keeps sliding, so that's why the tablet's moving. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get
Well,
it to sit still, and it keeps sliding everywhere I put it. There. Well, not
I'm not
trying to make you
having.
dizzy or sick, but I can't get it to stay put.
Whee!
I know, it's like the wild ride,
I
Mr.
know.
Hare's wild, or Mr. Toad's wild ride, I think is what it
Well,
was.
it is. It is like that. But isn't that the way that life is right now? It's
Always,
kind of like
on
that.
any
Yeah.
given day.
hmm It's like we never know what the heck's going to be. Hi, Jean Hudson. How you doing? Jean said,
Love Jean.
Robin.
Yeah, I
hmm
love her. She's a sweetheart.
So really, they're not too much different than us if we were living outdoors, if we were camping out all the
Yeah.
time permanently. And we probably wouldn't be as active in the day either when it's really hot.
No, when you get into the fall, like when I was in Michigan, of course, in the fall it's cooler. And even in the summer, I would see them during the day. But down here in the South, it's so unbearably miserable. Like, I don't even know why these people want to live down here. I don't. And I know a lot of people love the South, and God bless them for it, but it's not my cup of tea. And you can't do anything outside between the humidity and the heat. But in all fairness, half the country's doing that right now. It's not just the
It's
South.
been
We've got
80s
wacky weather.
here, if not, it's been 80s or more here.
Well, the forest people predicted months ago, they reached out to Pat, and then I confirmed it, that we all needed to be careful because there was a problem with the sun, that the layer that we had of protection that went around the sun, that it's been destroyed, that our people destroyed it, and that it's not safe, and that there would be excessive heat. So they've been given a lot of warnings to that multiple times.
Some kind of layer of protection we had around the sun that has been destroyed by our people.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at everything we do, the chemicals, everything. We've
Because
got,
we had the ozone, the hole in the ozone healed up a couple of years ago.
yeah, I
They
don't
had
know. They
hit it
didn't
during
go,
the time we were all in lockdown and nobody was doing anything. The ozone hole healed right up.
yeah, they have not said what, they didn't mention the ozone layer at all. They just said that there was something around the sun that had protected us that has been destroyed, that it was done by our people, and that people needed to be aware and to be careful because it was not safe.
So it was done by the humans? Jeez.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
didn't go into, there was no details given.
no details.
That was all they said, that they wanted us to warn people to be careful.
It does seem stronger than it used to be. And
yeah, and it's a different kind of heat. It's not like it was before. It's not just the temperature's higher. It feels different. It absorbs different. It's really odd.
hi, Lisa Lou. How
Hey,
you
sweet
doing?
girl. She's a doll.
So we've got less protection than we used to have. So
Yeah.
basically, if you're out there sunbathing, you shouldn't be probably.
Well, just be cautious. Be careful. Don't overdo it. I don't think
Yeah.
the way they talked, you would think there would be mass panic. I don't necessarily know that it needs mass panic. I just, take it into consideration.
Well, the plants love it. The plants are somehow loving it.
And that brings up another point. They've said this, okay? Now, across the street for me is a 200-acre pine tree farm. Across the street from my next door neighbor, it's still the pine tree farm, but it's an open field there. That open field, for the last 4-5 years, we've watched, and she's watched it too. Dogmen walk through there, and the Sasquatch walk through there. And the people that own the pine tree farm are forever bringing people over there. Hey, Gemini. Oh, that's miserable, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
They actually have a group of them that go over in that field, and they go raccoon hunting in the trees that surround this giant field. And this giant field is probably, I would say, at least 10 acres. Okay. And the one time they're out there raccoon hunting, I heard a scream, and the forest people said, help, help. They've seen one of our children. They've got a gun out there, da, 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 da. So, of course, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm out there, hollering and screaming to get them out of there. I even called the police because I thought that'll get them out of that field quicker than anything. So we were able to get the forest people out of there. That wasn't an issue. But these guys are out there in the middle of the night with guns 1 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, this has been an open field other than tall grass. Okay. There has never been any trees there. You can't see through it now. The pine trees are probably 10 feet tall or more, and the entire field is covered. Those trees I have photos from last year. Those trees were not there last year. And they have not come in and planted. I don't know what is going on. I was stunned because I don't usually turn to the left out of my driveway. I usually go to the right, but it's still across the road. It's kitty corner from my property. So it's very easy to see, but I just really didn't pay attention, other than I remember one day thinking, gosh, look at all the foliage over there. Like, that's crazy. And I've had so many times that I've turned that way, and I've had, one of the forest people run across the road there. I had one that was chasing a deer. The deer landed in the middle of the road and then jumped up and then went to the far side of the road, followed by, it was cloaked, and it was a forest person, landed in the middle of the road, uncloaked, looked at me in my car, jumped up, and in midair recloaked and went into the trees after the deer. Yeah, it was crazy. But there's
that would have been fun.
Yeah, on that side of the road, there's never been trees. You can't see into that 10-acre lot now. It's trees, and they're big. These are not saplings. These are big trees. The rate of growth on those is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I took Pat over there. I said, take a look at this. And he says, what in the hell's going on? I said, I have no idea. Like, this is night and day. I've had 3 or 4 people. I went next door. I said something to my neighbor. She said, I can't figure it out. She says, those have never been there. And they have not been in there planting anything. There's been no ground disturbed, nothing. They could not get in there and plant anything without either her or I seeing it, because it's right across from our driveways. It's like a completely different place. Everything is growing quicker with this sun. Now we get that, and I'm pronouncing it wrong, so excuse me, everybody. It's not cryptid. It starts with a C, but it's like a viney plant.
Kudzu.
Thank you. In South Carolina. And we get it here all the time. In fact, I'm always having to chop it down so it doesn't, kill off all the trees. This year, over the course of the summer, it's taken over the entire end of my house. Like, literally, you can't see. And it wasn't like that before. It's never done that before. And it goes all the way up onto the second story. So as soon as this weather cools off where it's bearable to be outside, I'll be putting all kinds of weed killer on it. I tried to start cutting on it the other day, and it's attached itself to the house. Like I can't pull it down. I've tried. So we're going to have to get up there with the ladder and just start spraying, the weed killer and stuff on it to try to kill it off. I don't know what else to do. It's never grown like that.
Vinegar should
Does
do
it?
it.
Oh, okay. I just, it's
Vinegar or
astronomical.
salt, if you're desperate, salting the roots of a plant will kill it.
Well, the other thing
You
is
don't need chemicals.
on the side of the fenced in yard I've got off the back, there's a row of bushes and pine trees there. I've never had a problem. There's like a 5-foot gap between that and where the fencing is, that every time we mow a path down there, not a problem. You can't mow a path. It's one mass. Like overnight, it's created this mass. So there's something going on, and it has got to do with the sun. All these are things that the Sasquatch have warned about, and it's happening.
Well,
So
tell us more of the Sasquatch warnings.
well,
Doggone, is there anything more?
no, I mean,
Geez, we need
that
to
was just what
know.
they had talked about with it, to be aware of it. I mean, the growth rate on the plants it's just beyond belief. But and I'm not a big gardener. I would love to be, but this year I didn't do anything with the garden. And my daughter-in-law gardens. She has a huge garden, and I have a couple friends that have gardens. Everybody's complaining of the same thing, that their tomatoes are growing quadruple the amount they normally do, but certain things aren't growing at all. They literally can't get them to know. Lisa, I saw that about Carrie. That is absolutely horrific. Prayers out to his family, his friends, the people that he worked with. It is a tragedy. It is an absolute tragedy. It really puts in perspective, I think, for everybody, the fact that you don't know when your time comes. Cherish the people
I
that you
did.
care. Yeah, cherish the people that you care about, even if they're just a friend or an acquaintance that you care about. Make sure they know it. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a big person. I'm always telling everybody I love them. I'm not doing that because I'm a freak or anything like that. I do it because, one, I think everybody needs to know that they're loved and valued. I don't care who you are. And two, you never know when it's the last time you're going to see somebody. But my thoughts and prayers are with Carrie and his family and his friends. That was just horrific. I was stunned. I found out about it very early this morning, and I was just in complete shock. I cannot even imagine what his poor wife is going through right now. There is not anybody that deserves anything like what happened to that poor man. It's just horrific. Just awful.
There was more that happened to him than just a car accident.
No, the only thing I know, which is very little, the only thing I know is that there was a head-on collision. My understanding, if I got it correctly, was that both parties passed away on impact, and that's really all I know. I'm not one that can give you a great deal of information. I don't know the family or anything like that. That was information that was shared with me from a friend that had seen it, like most everybody else, on Facebook. So, don't quote me on anything, but that was just what my understanding was. But it's definitely tragic.
Too bad.
May he rest in peace.
Strangely enough, I had a dream when I died. I had a dream before I died. I knew I was going to die. I mean, I knew I could had the possibility. We tried to avoid it, but I died anyway. I came back. But, we were kind of prepared for if I actually died.
Yeah.
But, most people don't get that kind of advance warning. So,
yeah.
I don't even know why I did exactly. I guess because I don't know. I don't know why I got a warning. But anyway, I got a question here about this. Jean is saying they will pull them out and slam them into the ground where they want them about trees.
Yeah, they absolutely will. The thing that's so peculiar with this is there has been no ground disturbance. From the second I saw them, there has been no ground disturbance. And Jean's 100% correct. They will. I've seen them do it.
Wow.
And they'll also do it over graves when they bury because they bury their dead. They have a funeral their form of a funeral. And they have markers. They will put trees over them. They'll put all kinds of things over them so you aren't aware where they are. And they will 100% do exactly what Jean's talking about. But in this case, I can't say for sure that they have not. Because jelly, I would have to. I've got enough of it. I could stock the refrigerator for everybody. But
Kudzu jelly, woo!
There's
Robin's
also grass. Yeah, there's also grass there. There's not one blade of grass that's been disturbed. Nothing. That's the thing, because that's what I thought too. I immediately thought what Jean had said. They must have put these in there because they will. They absolutely will. And they will also plant their own form of garden. They will plant like the sassafras and the tea berry, and then they cross it, and it's supposed to heighten their abilities and that kind of thing.
Thinking about that. I've been God, I must still be having some contact because I've been thinking, that
they'll plant.
Okay,
they'll plant whatever.
guys,
they will plant.
Can you
they will
throw
cultivate.
some comfrey out there for me, my big friends, my large and very capable friends? Can you throw some blackberry seeds down in the hole there? I didn't get to do that this year, but I do that anyway. I randomly plant things in every waste area I come across. I used to buy like a box of wildflower seeds and then just go out and scatter them at like the dollar store and scatter them everywhere.
I missed that last comment. Dee, did you see what was the last comment somebody had posted? It was up and then it was down before I could respond.
Kudzu jelly?
No, maybe it was before that.
Tea bags vinegar was in shock. Let's see.
I didn't hear.
Pull them out, slam them into the ground.
Okay, that one I heard. It was that one, and then what was the next one?
There's another one too. I was about to put up.
I just didn't want to miss anybody.
I am mom sitting tonight. I'll be in and out. She has
okay, Gemini.
Oh, my garden was out of control this year.
Thank you. It was Gemini. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, Gemini? It is absolutely ludicrous. When I went to Michigan, my daughter-in-law has this massive garden, and there's certain things that are growing out of control, but then there's other things that she couldn't get to grow at all that she normally did. Radishes. Her radishes were just like massive. And she messaged me even a week ago and she said, I just pulled 50 pounds of tomatoes out of my garden. I have no idea she said, and she makes salsa and sauces and tomato sauce, but she's like, I can't even imagine what I'm supposed to do with 50 pounds.
Share them.
And then other things that are normally grow very well couldn't get up. And I've noticed that with several people.
Here's another one. Lady in the Woods had a heart attack.
I had heard that as well. Our prayers go out for Dee as well. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. I got kind of sidetracked with what had happened to Carrie. Yeah, Dee had a heart attack. I don't know her personally. I know that she is very loved by a lot of people. So we definitely send prayers her way as well.
Yeah.
Lots of
tragedy. It's a rough year. There are people who are leaving. Yeah. There are people who are leaving. We've just got to realize that not everybody's supposed to be here for what happens next.
Well, that's why I think it's so important. The people you care about, make sure. I saw that, Lisa. I did see that video. The video I saw, it was after the accident and rescue units were there. It was tragic. It literally makes you cry. Yeah, I saw that where she said it was relief because she knew that he didn't feel any pain at all. Yeah, prayers for both of the families.
Yeah, Pam, I know.
Pam, I am so sorry.
Pammy's has been passed on too.
Oh, God bless you. Well, sending
So
you hugs and prayers, sweetheart.
some people are going on. Yeah, not everybody is staying for what's coming.
Well, okay. No, they're passing on and they're going to a different place. But know that a lot of them, especially when they're attached, they have that attachment to somebody. It's not that they don't cross over, but they tend to stay with people. I have a very dear friend of mine. Her husband passed away 4 years ago. He is not leaving. He is not moving on. He's simply waiting. And she's gotten visuals of him. And mind speaks to Pat and I with information for her. And she's starting to get a little bit of the mind speak from him herself. So, which is really good. And there's a couple of people on Facebook, and I'm not going to name names out of respect for them, that have lost their significant other. And that other person had contacted me, even though I didn't know them. And I was able, to pass along messages that I would not have known had it not been from that person. So while it's a different situation and nothing, and I tell this to everybody because I lost a child, and having to go through the funeral and the burial and everything, you don't get over it. You just don't. And I don't think, when you lose a spouse or your partner or anybody that's more important in your life, you don't get over it. I think, like in my case, it's a matter of how you learn how to cope every day. And there's some days you can cope and there's some days you can't. But I'm praying for you, Pam, because it's awful. I really am. I'm so sorry. And, again, for both, Carrie's family and friends, as well as the other person that was involved in the accident, I pray for peace for everybody.
Me too. And those of us who are left, remember, we've got a job to do. We got to bring this game in. We got to win this.
Well, and it's so important that the people that you surround yourself with, if they mean something to you, tell them. Don't assume people know. Don't assume anything in this crazy mixed up world. And don't assume that other person knows. And I always walk around, I tell everybody I love them, I hug everybody. I'm ridiculous. But when I go, people will know how I felt about them. And every now and then you run into somebody that just needs to know that somebody cares, that somebody gives a crap. So it's just really important. And I'm not perfect at it either. Don't get me wrong. I have a ton of flaws, but I try to make a point to do it.
They float into me too. They float over to me too because I can see them. And just it helps. Just they want somebody to talk to too sometimes.
Oh yes.
Because
I've had several people I didn't even know, and they've gotten a hold of me to talk to their loved ones, and I'm like, I don't know where they're at. I don't know how to contact them because I don't know them personally. If I find a way to contact them, I'll give you the message. And I've done that before. And it always ends up that it's one weird way or another, they end up in my world and I'm able to pass it along.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, we've got some heartbroken people. I understand that. And
it's not easy.
I love you. I love you. And I also send my warmest wishes for you to be able to handle this and get through this.
Oh.
And as you know, I don't hear about them all, but I sometimes hear about them. I sometimes see them. If I see any of your loved ones, if I get messages, I will let you know. But please be open to it. I mean, even if you're not a medium, that doesn't mean that you can't get messages from them. And just
absolutely.
Be open to it, that it can happen. And you're not imagining it. Okay, probably. You're probably not imagining it.
When my son died, I didn't think I was going to survive. I really didn't. And I remember telling myself, if I can get through the next 3 minutes, I can do this. Because I had other children that were dependent on me. And then at the end of that 3 minutes, it was okay, I can do another 3 minutes. And that's what I would tell myself. I mean, I was like a crazy person. And eventually I made it to, okay, if I can do it for 10 minutes, can I do it for 15 minutes? And there was a lot of days I had to go minute by minute. It doesn't, there's no way, you don't get over it. You know, I remember them sending me to grief counseling. The doctor thought it was a good idea. And I'm sitting in there and they're talking about, you know, over time, you know, you'll be able to move past this. And I thought, what is wrong with you? And and it wasn't that I didn't care about the other people. Number one, it was really difficult for me because as an empath, I felt it all. But also, it wasn't that I didn't care about them. It was a matter of I couldn't stand to sit there and have people tell somebody that lost somebody that meant the world to them that you'll get over it. Ways to cope and deal with your change. That's what you do. But I would never, you'll get over it.
What I have to do, because I've lost a lot of people, lots. My whole family's gone. I don't have anybody, nothing. Maybe a few cousins. I have a few cousins out there somewhere, but everybody's gone. And I am very comforted by being a medium and knowing that they go somewhere. They don't just end; they continue, and knowing that they can communicate if they want to and need to, and I'm glad that I can hear them. And I have to be thankful about that. But really, even when I lose a cat, you know, I'm heartbroken. I mean, but it's all on our side. On their side, they're fine. It's we who
harder for the people left behind. Yeah, the people left behind are the ones that suffer. You know, they go to a place of peace and beauty, and you know, it's a little bit different.
Yes, I have you beautiful, wonderful people here, and I have that, and I'm really grateful for that. But really, okay, now don't get me all emotional.
All right, we need to perk this up.
We need to perk this up because otherwise I'm going to start thinking about it. No, you don't get over it exactly, really. You can, though, at least what I keep telling myself is that I always hear they're fine. They're fine there. They're fine. We just have to get used to the hole in our life being there. That's all there is to it. However, I don't think we get used to it. Anyway, almost my brother had been fine for almost, but it's been fine almost 6 months.
I can't
gone.
see it. I can't see the question, so
I'm trying to see what's going on here. Yeah, I have kind of had to make my family. I love you guys too. That's why I do this.
I'm just so sorry, Pam.
Yeah.
It's incredibly
all
difficult thing to deal with. It's incredibly difficult. You know, my son's been gone for over 20 years. And there are days I still can't get through the day. I don't dwell on it. I don't harp on it. But it doesn't mean I've forgotten. It doesn't mean that the pain isn't there anymore. And it's about having to accept the reality of it and finding everybody has their own way to cope. If anybody out there thinks that their way is the way it works, it doesn't. It's very individualized, and you have to have a good support system. And you know, their job is over. They are not in distress. They are at peace. And we have to be the ones to carry the burden of how to forward.
We're the ones that got to carry it all forward, and I'm going to put it this way because I'm not going to go into length win this game because we're in a game right now. And I'm not going to say what really is going on, but you guys know what I mean when I say uh, we have to win it. Okay. And we will. But these people have gone on, and you know what? I think they help us from the other side.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
I'm
That's
sure.
one of the
I've
things
seen
that
a
they
lot of
do.
evidence of that.
I think sometimes they go on because there are things they can do on the other side that they can't do here. And quite often, I have heard it said that soulmates will be, one will be across they'll be on opposite sides of the veil so that they can help each other. One can do things in the physical world, the other one does things in the spirit world. This often happens. And so it it isn't too often that you get your soulmate, your actual soulmate, with you in the same life as you, alive at the same time as you. So, Pamela, Pammy, it was beautiful, though. It was beautiful. The way the way things happened was difficult for you, but also beautiful because he took the one last vacation he wanted to take, and he was with his favorite person doing something he'd wanted to do, and then he just went. And you know what? It's it's not a bad way to go. I mean, if all the ways you can go, that's really not a bad way. I mean, he was happy. He had
Well, I,
he had his wish, his last wish, and you were there with him, and that's what makes it, you know, yeah, I know, sweetheart. So, and you were there. So it was beautiful, although very sad.
Pam, my
So,
thoughts and prayers are with you. They truly are. And, don't let anybody tell you how to grieve. Everybody is different. Everybody has to grieve in their own way. So
right.
know that whatever your way is, it's okay. But even if you have to, like I said, even if you have to just try to get through the next 5 minutes, don't look, oh my gosh, I've got the rest of my life, I've got to deal with this. Go into smaller amounts and just make that your goal to try to get through. And sometimes it helps. It may not work in your case, but it was helpful in mine. And I never had anybody tell me that. I had to figure it out. Hey,
Yeah.
Circle K.
Hi, Circle K. How you doing, sweetie? A message after 40 years?
Yeah.
Message after 40 years. Hard being in love with a warrior. They're busy no matter what realm, but heck yeah, they love you. Yes, that's true.
Yes.
And in this one, I'm the I am the hard-headed warrior still here, although I've had like a bunch of chances to check out, and still stubbornly stuck here trying to make sure we win it for our side, you know. Um, Hello, Simon. Simon is here.
Hey,
Dog-faced boy.
Simon.
Dog-faced shell. Shy, something. I don't know. However you say that. Shibe, dog-faced something. But it's Simon. Hello, sweetie. Um, yeah, we're kind of on a sad topic, but honestly, maybe we need to talk about it. We are going to be losing. I'm sorry. I don't want to have to tell you, but maybe it is a time to tell you. There's going to be a lot of people leaving. I have seen that. A lot of people are going to leave, and we have to be prepared for that. So somehow, I don't know how you're going to do it. I'm here if you want to talk to me, but we have to be prepared that there are going to be a lot of people going on.
I
there
just don't
have
think there's a
been,
way to prepare. And that's just my
I'm
own
not
personal
sure
opinion.
there is either.
That's not anything against what you're saying. It's just my own personal belief. There is no way to prepare for that, because where you may mentally think you're prepared, I promise you your heart isn't. And I think
Well,
we just have to deal with it the best we can.
what I mean is we got to do the physical things. We got to take care of the physical side of it. That's our job. We
Yeah.
can't do much about it spiritually, but we can. I mean, that's not our job. But our job is taking care of things here in the physical. So just prepare for it physically, and that's all you can do is
Yeah.
prepare with it. And mentally, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Uh,
Well, it's different for everybody. Everybody takes things differently. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. It is an individual thing, and everybody goes through the process the very best way that they can. I mean, I think it's not a simple thing, but the statement is simple. Everybody will go through it the way they have to. I'm wearing my 5G beanie.
yeah. Well, maybe that would help. I don't know. Maybe we all need those, right? Oh dear. And Strangeland Todd is in here.
Strangeland, hi. Good to see you here.
Hey, Todd. Yeah, doggone. We've got well, my job, I know what it is. This is part of it right here. This is part of my job, and you've got your job, and in some ways our paths cross because part of our job is letting people know what the world really is like, and trying to remove some of the layers of BS that have been heaped upon this species for so long. Um, I guess we're growing flowers with it now. We're growing plants with it now. All this BS. Maybe that's what's happening. The layers of BS are coming off, and the plants are going crazy. They're like, "Oh wow!"
They are. They're growing nuts. I'm telling you.
I took when I went to the little farmer that we got this farmer, this local farmer that I go to, and because we're right on the edge of farm country, and I go there every week now. That's where I get my meat. That's where I get most of my vegetables, fruits, stuff like that right now. And uh, when I saw the cantaloupes as big as a freaking volleyball, I'm like,
I know.
I, I went to buy a cantaloupe. I said, what is this? One of those rock melons? One of those weird. No,
Yeah.
that's a cantaloupe. That's a cantaloupe? Holy, yeah. I felt like dribbling it around the room. It was huge. It was like, and the heads of cabbage, the heads of cabbage, huge,
Yeah.
huge. I'm like,
Definitely, there's a change this year in the produce.
you know what? It's almost like they're trying to scare us with all of this fear of lack. And it's almost like nature is going smack. No, you're not. It's going to be this way. See,
Well, I will say this, the cantaloupes here in South Carolina were the tiniest I've seen them this year. And I
really?
bought a couple, yeah, they were terrible. And I bought them and they were so bitter. I couldn't eat them. And that's one of my favorite
Really?
fruits. Yeah, I gave them to my
Can't,
mini pigs. They devoured them, but I was
that's
really
really
surprised.
good.
Cantaloupes are my favorite. But here's the thing. The ones I got prior to that were good size and they were phenomenal. And then the next batch were just, oh, they were horrifying. I didn't buy any more. But normally I do a lot. See, Gemini's veggies are huge too. This is what's going on. I mean, the growth
Oh, you're
rate,
just bragging, Gemini. Oh, wait a minute. Gemini isn't a girl, so she's not bragging.
um,
Okay.
the thing of it is the growth rate on plants is just beyond belief right now.
It
And
is.
I think it had a lot to do with the sun. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't know, but I think
I
that's my
think it
personal opinion.
does, and maybe some other things too. There may be some other things going on. As a matter of fact, I think I'm kind of getting a message, but I also have a pain in my chest right now and in my stomach. It goes all the way down to my stomach. I don't know if it's GERD or something else. So I'm going to have to go take care of this, but I know that Robin can carry the show.
Well, I can't see anybody's questions, so I don't really know how to carry the show because I can't see them.
Oh, that's right. How are we going to do that? Okay, this is what I'm going to
Here's
do.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on my cell phone and I'm going to pull this up so that as people do questions, I can read it on there. So if I'm not looking at the camera, please don't feel that I'm being rude. Okay. All right. I've got it pulled up. So if you put a question in the chat, I will try to answer you. But again, don't think I'm being rude. I've got to look down on the phone
I'm only going to be gone a minute, really. I'm only going to be gone a minute. I know exactly what to do about this. I'll get something to drink and it'll be fine. I don't know what's happening right now. It's just I got some kind of, maybe my stomach is reacting to all this that we're talking about. I don't know that we're going. There's a lot. I'm an empath, guys, you know. Oh, it's calmed down. You're okay, Robin. It's calming down. Okay. If anybody did that, thanks. Thanks, because that really hurt. I should probably still get something to drink, though. I'll be right back. In the meantime, here, talk to Cowboy. Little Cowboy will talk to you.
Here. I don't see Cowboy isn't showing up on here.
He isn't?
No, not for me. Dogface is. Circle K is.
No, Cowboy's my cat.
I don't have that either.
Okay, hang on.
Cowboy, your cat. I can see him. Okay. Sorry about that. I was looking in the chat, guys. At this time, wonder when it's over. Yeah, this has been crazy, and I can't even understand what's going on. But when I went outside and I saw this entire, what now looks like a forest over there, like when it first started doing it, I went over there and looked to see if there's any ground disturbance because I figured they would planted them. That was what my thought process was, and there's been no disturbance in the ground at all. Strangeland, let's see. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Strangeland. It's just really horrific. Definitely very, very sad. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, everything is growing crazy. I've got this kudzu now that's like taking over the end of the house. And I swear the forest people use it and they climb it. The kids do. They climb it and they end up on the roof. And you can hear them running around on the roof. They used to get on the other end of the house above my bedroom because my bedroom is on the first floor and it actually, there's the second floor doesn't go above my bedroom. It's more contained in the middle of the house. Okay, Pam, you take care of sweetheart. And my thoughts and prayers are with you.
I'm back. And Pam, and I love you. And if I get any messages, you're gonna hear about it, okay, sweetheart? But while you're sleeping, you might get some messages. Just allow it to be. Love you, dear. And rest well.
Take care, Pam. But they used to come above my bedroom, the kids would, and they would play on the roof above my bedroom. And it sounded like I heard elephants up there. And I literally, they would climb up the big pine trees next to the end of the house. And then they'd go from there over to the roof. And I was that crazy person out there going, you're going to get off my roof or I'm going to zap your little hairy butts. Yeah. But they finally stopped. And as I'm in too, but once in a while I hear them. I get a lot of pounding on my bedroom wall or shaking of the wall. You know, especially like I'm not feeling
I haven't heard a squeak. I haven't heard a squeak lately. I don't even know. Can you tell if they're even still around here or if all of the
I don't see anybody around right now. I don't see anything right around you right now. Doesn't mean they haven't been, but right now there's nobody.
Yeah, because I haven't heard a squeak in a while. I don't know how long it's been. Actually, I would like to make sure they are okay. because we've had all this construction and weird stuff going on. I hope they're okay. They
Yeah.
probably just in
Oh, I'm
a
sure they
looking.
are.
They're probably just in a better spot or something, you know, or
Yeah.
just not, yeah, just not around right now here. Um. Anyway, yeah,
Right.
I have wonderful friends guiding me through good, Pam. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pam
Pam
Smith is the
Smith
one
is
who's
leaving.
leaving. So
Not I
Pam,
am Pam. Okay, I'm
right.
sorry.
Two different
I'm
ones.
getting my Pams mixed up because I got too
Well, I'm
much going
sending
on.
prayers for
See
both of you.
how great I
Hey,
multitask.
my hubby just popped on. Hi, babe.
Oh,
So
your
he's in
hubby in
chat.
there. Hello.
Yeah, he's out in
How are
the
you
other room.
doing?
He's in charge of all the critters right now. He's got all the loudmouths out there with him. So we have a couple that get quite loud and you can't hear to do a podcast. So he's got them corralled out in the front room. I'm hiding out in the bedroom and he's
Oh,
got them in the
yeah.
front room.
Yeah, I did. I was too busy having this pain to really be able to see you. One of the Pams was
I
going
love
was
you
all
too,
like,
babe. Pat said I
"Hey,
love you. I
Pat,
said I love you too, babe.
love you too."
He did a
Chris
good job. I was really proud of him
Chastain, hey,
last
what's
week.
up?
Yeah, he did a
What's
really
up,
good
Chris?
job last week. I was proud of him.
I
Hey,
I don't.
Chris. Love Chris.
Yeah,
Let me tell you
I
something about
know,
Chris.
Chris, but
I have not
hey,
known I have not known Chris a very long time, and he is just turned out to be one of the kindest, most wonderful people I've met in a very long time. I adore him. I really do.
I
And it's
can
great because
see
now,
his avatar blushing right now
oh
as
my
you're
gosh.
saying.
And he talks to Pat too, which is great. I love it. So said to him the other day, I said, as soon as everybody's feeling better, because we're dealing with our second round of COVID over here. And I mean, everybody's doing much better now, but it was kind of dicey there for a bit. And I said, as soon as, yes, they do, they can go into multiple dimensions. Absolutely. And I said, as soon as everybody gets feeling better, where he lives opposed to us, if we each drove like an hour to an hour and a half, it would be like the halfway point. So I told him, I said, you get you, your wife, and then Pat and I, and we're going to meet and do dinner, because he's one of those special people that you just think so much of. You want to see him and have that sit down dinner with them and just talk. He's awesome.
Would
Um,
he be a good guy to have on the show if he's not too embarrassed?
that's his call. I can't speak for Chris.
Chris,
Circle K,
if you're
they
interested,
actually
let me know. I'm gonna put my.
um, they are multidimensional, and so they do go in other dimensions, as well as being able to go in other dimensions. They can go from physical form to spirit form. Chris says we're coming. You better, buddy. I'm holding you to it. They can go from a physical form into spirit form. They can also, in fact, I had a lovely conversation today with the gentleman that we were talking about this very topic. They can go, like, you'll hear people talk. Thanks, Strangeland. I'm so glad you're there. Where people say they've seen a spirit, or not a spirit, but a shadow form of a forest person in their home. That is absolutely true and very possible. It's very bizarre to see them walk through a wall and into your home, but they can go into this, what I call spirit form, and they can do that. And when they do that, they can downsize themselves to accommodate the size of the home or the size of the space to do it. And they can go back into physical form whenever they so choose. And they can they change, vibrations, energy, everything in order to be able to do this. And they can open up the portals, and they pop in the portals and go into any dimension they want. People have seen them flying on crafts. They can use, the ships. And I mean, it's really gets complex.
Well, I have a question for you, I guess, of my own.
Okay.
If you're used to mind speaking these beings, different beings, I have been feeling lonely lately. And I usually don't feel lonely because usually I have all of this going on. I feel like I'm never alone. As a matter of fact, for a long time, but lately I have felt lonely.
Well,
Mike.
that comes because when you have cryptids around you, when you have, whether it's ghosts, spirits, dimensionals, elementals, any of the paranormal things like that, when you have them around you, they radiate a certain vibration and energy. When they are not around, like right now, the forest people are not sitting outside your house, whether it's from, whatever construction's being done or whatever. When that energy is not there and it gets pulled away from you, you actually have a physical effect from it. It can cause depression, it can cause loneliness, it can cause panic. Your body goes into withdrawals because when they're around you a long time, your body absorbs the feel of that energy and vibration. It's like if you're on a medication, even a Tylenol, if you take Tylenol 3 times a day, every day for a month, when you quit taking it, you go into some form of a withdrawal. And that's exactly what goes on when you have ongoing daily contact. If you're used to having that contact every single day or a lot, whether it's in the form of a spirit, dimensional, cryptid, elemental, what have you, and then it's just gone, you can experience that. Yes.
Well, maybe that's what's going on then, because I don't hear, or if I hear anything, it seems very distant.
Yeah, it's because they're
They
not nearby.
they may have moved
Gemini,
out of the way. Yeah.
Gemini just
Um,
posted about she's up in Traverse City. There is so many, and that she could feel them around there. Absolutely. There is a ton of them up there. In fact, when Pat and I go to move, we
thank
will
you.
probably be within an hour of Traverse City. And they will reach out and mind speak to you. So you're definitely spot on with that. Most of the ones are pretty good. You want to stay away from the pigeon area. You want to stay away from the grayling area. Grayling area tends to get some real grouchy ones in there. When you cross the bridge, there is trying to remember Pier, not Pier Marquette, it's another place up there that they used to have a crabby clan there that actually hurt somebody, but my understanding is the clan leader up there dealt with it, and so they've got them under control. But when you cross the bridge, they have really nice ones up there. However, you have to understand that there's a lot of wide open space up there, a lot of wilderness up there. So when you get into those areas, it's not that they're mean, it's not that they're nasty, but some of them can be a little less civilized than others.
Yeah, some are, I have heard that it kind of depends on the area, the clan, and etc. Some are friendlier and some are not friendly. So, um, yeah, but I've also been having these dreams that I can't
Anytime,
figure
Gemini.
out that I end up, I start out, and it's a recurring dream, but it's in a different place every time. It happens in a different way, but the result is the same. I feel like I'm with somebody, I'm out somewhere, and they're either saying, okay, we're going to go here, just follow me, or they're saying, I'll meet you back here in a few minutes, or, are you, let's get ready to go, or whatever it is. But somehow I get separated from them and I'm lost and I don't know how to get back. I don't know how to get to wherever we're going. And I've had that
Yeah.
dream. And recently the last one was the weirdest one. I'm in a car a really wild looking car, by the way. And the person says, okay, follow me. And I kind of get in the car, but I'm not ready to go yet. And the thing just takes off backwards. And I'm trying to drive it backwards. And I'm going, oh, holy cow, I got to get this thing stopped and turned around. But the door flies open and all kinds of things are going on. And, I'm like, okay, I got to turn this sucker around. So I finally get it pulled off and I finally turn it around. But then the person I'm following, I don't know where they are. They're gone again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, great, now what do I do? So, and I've had this dream over and over, and I'm there like, I was talking. I I haven't had hardly anybody to talk to this about. I know I have prophetic dreams. I hope this is not a prophetic dream, but it probably
Now
is trying to tell me something.
it sounds like you're just, like I said, when they pull that energy and vibration back, it can really affect you. And that could be coming from that where you're kind of feeling misplaced. Like I'm not a dream analysis. I can just tell you what I pick up and what I think. And I think it's very possible that that has a lot to do with it. It's almost like searching for where they're at, but you don't know. And let me tell you something, they will be back. They always do. I had my group that they actually went away. They were in training for some things that were coming up, and they were gone for 8 months. And I had other ones that came in their place and were still around me, but my core group was not there. That was devastating. That was like losing a part of me. And it was hard, and that was even with having some of the other ones still there. So it does happen. It can happen. I would tell you, Dee, to go outside and do some energy work, do some grounding, and pull some extra energy that way to kind of help with it.
Yeah,
Kind of
I need to
off
spend some
balance.
more time outside.
The other
I
thing
keep
too is
getting side.
whenever you do any type of paranormal work, you need extra Pro-Train and extra water because it taps
Absolutely.
things inside your body. So you want to make sure you do that. Chris, you're right. You know what? I need a giant bottle of Prozac because there's some of the groups that I've worked with, not the ones at my home, but in other places where if I could put them all out there and pass out the Prozac, trust me, I would.
Oh,
K.
Circle K is saying everyone has a version of that dream. I've just been having them every single time, though. I've been having
Yeah.
that dream for at least a month every single time I dream. I'm
But
used to getting prophetic dreams. This is like, I haven't had any other kind of dream. Now, I think this one going backwards may have something to do with Mercury retrograde because
I was going to
technically,
say,
from our point of view, Mercury's going backwards right now.
yeah. So
But
the other thing too is when other things want to mess with us, and Pat knows this because we get this at our house all the time. You get what's called cover dreams. Cover dreams make no sense, leave you wanting for more, not understanding why you're getting them. And what's actually going on is it's basically a cover while other things are happening to keep you busy, to keep you off of what's actually going on. So that's another possibility as well.
well, I did have one dream where I was actually being mashed by somebody and I had to stop it. That was the only other dream I've had is somebody was trying to get physical with me in the dream time. And it was strange. It was a woman or seemed like a woman. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? No. And yeah, it started out just a dream where we're just friends or we're, like just hugging. And then all of a sudden it turned into something else. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Get out of here. I don't know who you are. Get out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe something is trying to happen and I'm just kind of like, you know, but I don't know what half the time. I don't know. You guys, I go through this stuff. I'm kind of like you. I go through a lot. I go through a lot, but because I'm an empath and I'm psychic and it could be so many things, that I even have more choices of what could be going on than, and because I'm an experiencer, I know I've had all kinds of things happen to me, everything from UFO experience to alien. I mean, I don't want to call them aliens; they're ETs, but some of
The
them
thing
are
of it is,
probably from here.
yeah, well, a lot of the ETs are here too. Okay, they may be an extraterrestrial because that's where they came from. We also have some that live on this planet, and we also have aliens that live on this planet. But the cover dreams, they actually, it's a real thing. And cover dreams, they will pull things that make absolutely no sense, completely discombobulated, or they will turn around and they will bring people from your past. It could be your school teacher when you were in second grade And all of a sudden they're there in this dream and you're like, what is going on? But it happens a lot more than people think.
And since you're saying that, I'm thinking maybe they are cover dreams, because
That to me is what it sounds like.
a lot of times we just come up with this stuff and yeah, it turns out to be that.
Yeah.
So something else might be going on. You're right. And because I get these sleepy, like I get sleepy at odd times too. That's another thing a lot of us seem to be experiencing is we all of a sudden get sleepy for no particular reason and feel like we have to crash out a while, and
But you get
usually
knocked out.
that's, yeah.
You absolutely get knocked out. Any of the cryptids, any of the paranormal stuff, do it at any time. I've had ETs knock me out. I had them knock me out for almost 16 hours one time, and I had to deal with them in dream state. I've gotten better about it, that where in the beginning I didn't know how to deal with it in dream state. Now I know how to fight, kill, do whatever I have to do in a dream state. So that's helpful, because what people need to realize is you can get just as hurt in dream state or even killed as you can when you're awake. All it is a different plane.
I still cannot tell you how I got a torn rotator cuff.
Yeah.
I
Well, I got my
somehow
arm
got
broken.
my shoulders were so pulled out of line. My shoulders were like pulled up. It was like somebody grabbed me by one hand and pulled me upward and ripped
Yeah.
my rotator cuff. But I'm not aware of how that happened. I'm not aware of that happening at all, but that's what it felt like. And it really was a bad rip too. I couldn't move that arm for a while, and there was absolutely no explanation as to why I had that.
I
So
broke the inside
very,
part of the bone in my upper arm in dream state while I was fighting alongside the forest people. And I remember when the one from the other side had grabbed me, I remember feeling the arm pop, and I woke up screaming. I remember that one of my guys got me, he saved me, and I woke up screaming, and I had it physically damaged. I mean, I got really hurt. Chris has a question. Regression therapy. Do you know what? I'm not for or against it. I think that's an individual choice. I know that there's a lot of people that claim it's very helpful for them. There have been times, and Pat and I talked about it over the last time when I got abducted in May by the ETs. And he said, is that something that you might want to do? Because that affected me much deeper than other ones had. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm probably better off not knowing. But I think for some people, it's helpful. I'm not against it.
I would kind of like to know what happened some of these times. I would kind of like to know what the hell happened some of these times.
Oh, with a lot of the stuff with the forest people, I would like to know that. I would do regression therapy to figure it out really quick. Yeah, Circle K, tell Pat, maybe that'll help him because he has a hard time remembering the dreams.
I couldn't remember my dreams for ages. I couldn't. I think they were taken away for a while. My dreams were, there were just like years that I couldn't remember hardly a single dream. And whatever dream I had was a nightmare.
Hi, Mary.
There was years like that. And now my dreams are, I think I've had one happy dream in the last 3 years. I don't generally have happy dreams. I have dreams that suck. So
yeah, I
I
have
don't
good dreams, and I have, a lot of my dreams are working dreams where I'm working with various cryptids or ETs or whatever. So, and, but I've gotten really good at telling when my dreams are a cover dream or whether it's something that's actually, I still, have regular dreams like everybody else does, like, but I've gotten much, much better at detecting whether or not it's a cover dream. Is it just a screwy dream? I watched this show and I had a dream from that or whatever. But
yeah, I
Pat's
don't watch
right.
too many shows, so I
Yeah.
don't have too many dreams from the shows anymore unless they're long gone shows. Anyway, hi Mary Wins, how you doing? Mary came in. So
Hi, Jessica.
basically this is part of the thing is when you're an experiencer, you're going to have experiences if you're a warrior. and I know I am. I am. I get darn tired of it sometimes, though. Seems like
I
seems
worry
like
all the time.
I have been bashed around quite a bit in this life. I don't even know how the heck I'm still here. I've had some things. I don't know how the heck I survived everything that I've been through. I don't know how the heck I did, really. I must be a really tough old bird, huh? But and so must you. I mean, and we have to be because God, look what we're doing. Look at the job we're doing. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Jessica Mink is in. Hello, Jessica, and she had fun at Phenomicon. Yes. Okay. Good to see you, Jessica. Um, do we have any more questions? Well, I keep thinking of questions. Ah, she will survive. Somebody will survive. Who will survive? Oh, it's probably me. Probably me. Yeah, I'm a survivor. I died once, and I figure that's enough. I already died one time. I'll next time I'll just go. I'll just leave when I want to. That's what I would really like. Just leave because I'm done, and now I want to go, and you know that's what I want. But yeah. But you know what? It's funny. David told me one time. He says, "Ah, I know you," because sometimes I'm like. Most everybody I loved is on the other side. My loves are on the other side,
But you know what?
including you. But so what am I doing here? And he goes, it's not enough for you to play the game. You want to win the game. You want to hang around and win this. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you're right. I want to
But you
see
know
it won.
what?
I want to see
The
it
thing about
done.
love, the thing about love is we can make as much as we need. We can always make more. So while we
That's
may
right.
have loved ones on the other side, that doesn't prevent us and shouldn't prevent us for the love that we can have for other people that are still here.
Well, I
Because
have a
it's
lot of love for the people that come on my show. You guys are some of the best people, really. You're the sweetest. You're very sweet to each other. You're very decent people to each other. I mean, you're some of the most decent people. God knows I wish that I had some around me, physically near me, that were that cool. You know, I haven't found them around here yet. That may be another reason I feel kind of lonely. I feel like I need to be making some real life friends. I only have a very few people around here. Like actually, right now, there's only two people I trust in this where I am right now that are anywhere near me. So, you know, maybe three. So I need to make some friends. You know, physical friends. I'm tired of this.
yeah.
I've been feeling cut off for quite a long time, but when we had all the weird stuff that we had for the last few years go on, it was like everybody was so hard to talk to. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't talk to hardly anybody, you know, because when they would start in on something, I'd be like, I have so much to say about that I just can't say, you know. Oh, I think I should go
Yeah.
get a booster. It's like, uh, why? Yeah. Well, you don't want to take a you're taking a big, big chance getting that booster. Big
Yeah.
chance.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut because everybody knows my opinion on that. I know what's
Yeah.
in it. Like hell
That's
will be a
all I'm
frozen over.
saying. You know, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying,
It's a personal choice. If somebody wants to have it, I have no problem with that. That's purpose, that's their choice. It's their body. I have respect for that. I number one, if you have pre-existing health conditions, the shot is excessively dangerous. So I'm already
it
booted out of it anyway. But
I
even if I
can't have
wasn't,
the
I would.
adjuvants. The adjuvants that they put in them are bad too. They're not good for you either.
Well, the H protein level is too high, and it's set up to do damage in other areas. So, but
Mhm.
that's another topic. Jeff, you're right. It's
Jessica
not a booth.
is saying weird Ohio. Yeah, well, weird Ohio, Jess. Yeah, Jess is in Ohio too, and we know we got weird. Yeah, we got weird. You want weird? Yeah, we got weird. We got weird here.
You think
We
Ohio's
got
weird? Go to Pennsylvania. You've never seen anything like that in the United States, let me tell you.
I believe you. I've been to Pennsylvania. I've had friends in Pennsylvania. I really think it was all the same territory at one point. And I'm also now looking into things that the new world is actually the old world. We there are a lot of signs that this was a thriving culture at one point, way before Columbus. And there's also signs that that it wasn't Amerigo Vespucci that we were named after. We are the Amaru Khans. And this is a NA guy that is talking about this. So he's a native talking about what the natives know about this. It isn't just, you know what? I would love to have a discussion with it if they would ever want to tell us. I think they
Yeah.
know a heck of a lot about what happened to
But
us, and why we
I
are so hit with not knowing who the heck we are, where we come from, what our real history is. Seems like they know.
well, the thing of it is,
Maybe
and
they
I
know.
can't speak for all the Native Americans because I'm not one, but they there's constraints in the tribe on what they're allowed to vocalize and what they're not outside
Yeah,
of that tribe. And I'm
I
not going to
know.
say that that's the way it is with every tribe, but I do know that it's not as easy as like we just spout off at the mouth and we say what we want to say. And I don't, in my heart, don't believe that it's quite that easy for them. I think that, there's tribal laws, there's protocols, there's a lot of things.
Oh, there is. There's some things you can only talk about in a certain season.
Mhm.
Hmm. There's some things you can only talk about after the snow is on the ground.
Well, I have friends that are Native
Not
American.
kidding.
My
I'm
son
Native
worked,
American on my dad's side. I mean, my mom's side, not my dad's
well,
side.
I'm supposed to be on my biological father's side, way back generations and generations. There's Native American in that side, but then I did that 23 and me and it didn't pop, but yet that side of the family all tells me that it is there. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's there. I know it's there. I know it is. My great grandma Emma Whitehorse and her sister Shanoa say, "Oh yes, you are, child." Uh, um, yeah, Native American makes a lot more sense to me than a lot of the white guy stuff.
Oh,
And I'm not
100%. I
racist.
believe that 100%.
I'm not being racist here. I'm just saying I think white guys have been cheated. We have been cheated. We don't know, the white guys, they have been cheated out of most of their legacy of information about everything. I think they've been
Well,
here.
I think the Native Americans got it far worse than we ever thought to. The treatment that we did to them is inexcusable. As far as I'm concerned, it cannot be forgiven. There is such a vile disrespect of what we did to them, not only to them, their land,
Well,
their
I didn't
families,
do it.
their cultures. I mean, I'm not we, like, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
I know.
the white
Once
man did.
again,
Yeah.
unless you
So,
are
yeah,
talking about we are one with everything, but honestly,
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you the truth, a lot of people don't know. And this fellow, I think his name is something like Kum. Okay, it begins with a K. Ahu. Um, I've got
I
his
agree,
videos
Gemini.
in our MeWe. He's basically got videos to prove there were black people here way before the slaves.
Hmm.
There are white people who were enslaved, absolutely, by black people. There were black Indians, there were black Irish, there were uh, every basically every type of people have been enslaved at some point. Every type. Their land has been taken and they've been enslaved All of us, all of us. This is just what we do. This is what we do. It's what we do to each other. What we do to each other. The very first black slaves, that were sold to anybody, to a white person, were sold by black people. Yes, because they had been captured and were going to be killed. And the missionaries decided to tell them, well, no, you could sell them. And they were trying to save lives. They said, you could sell them and then, you could get money for them instead of just killing them. They were actually trying to keep them from practicing genocide. But look how that turned out. It's kind of like the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but there you go. In my mother's day, she used to be afraid she was in the 1920s. She grew up in the 1920s. People were being, white women, white men, white people and children were being stolen to be taken away to other places to be enslaved too. They had to concern themselves with that.
Good night,
So,
Lisa.
is somebody leaving?
Yeah,
One of the
Lisa's
ills
going to bed.
leaving.
So I just wanted to say good night
Okay.
to her.
Okay, sweetie.
Gemini, that's amazing.
Past your bedtime. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huge Native American. That's the other thing. People say what they want about giants, and they say, oh, these people that are giants in the pictures, it's because they were more important. And that's why, because that's what they tell you. No, I'm telling you right now, there were larger people and smaller people. That's why the temples look like that in Egypt. Some of those steps were made for huge people. Some were made for small people like us. Some some of those colossal statues were actual size. And some of the smaller statues were also actual size. We all dwelled here together at one time. I'm convinced of that because I got a guide that's huge. I've
Good
got a
night,
guide
Circle
that's
K.
head is up in the clouds. Circle K got to
Yeah.
go too.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, sweetie. I think Circle K is just
Yes,
saying,
I agree with you. I agree with you. Why can't we all just get along?
right. Honest to God, why can't we? Yeah, like the Jolly Green. Yeah, I swear. Only he's blue. Yeah, I call
Good
him
night,
Azure.
Jean.
Who's all going? Am I driving people away?
Jean's tired too. I'll talk to you later, sweet girl.
Maybe we just got off the subject of Sasquatch, so we're not interesting now. This is another subject, and it is not really another subject, because the Bigfoot are, for all intents and purposes, they're a type of giant, aren't they? I mean,
Well,
and we
they're
know they
large,
exist.
but they're technically not giants.
Right.
That's their size, that's what they are. But you have some that'll be 20 footers. I mean, they get quite big, and in certain areas they tend to get bigger than others. I always crack up when people say, "Well, I
Oh,
saw an adult, he was 6 to 7 foot tall." No, you saw an adolescent. That is not an adult. I don't care where you're living at. That is not an adult.
yeah, because I've got a guide, and he is in spirit. His head is up in the clouds. He looks like a Native American.
Gene, I'll send prayers your way for him.
I have a phone call. Nephew is sick. Oh dear. Here we go with more. It's a Mercury retrograde. We're gonna have it another couple weeks. Sorry about that, folks. Nephew is sick. Bad reaction to chemo. Yeah. Well, whatever you do about your health is your own business, and I will say that. I will not argue with people about it. I will sometimes say, if you're asking me, I feel this way. But if you're not asking me, a lot of times I will say, wouldn't be my choice, but hey, go for it. Uh, although some people are quite surprised to find out and quite happy you told them when you tell them the truth. But you've got to be very careful about red pilling people. It can go south very quickly. So a lot of times I just have to keep things under my hat. I can't say much, you know. And
Yeah.
that's just the safest thing is to just not say a whole lot.
Take care, Lisa.
Um,
Love you, sweet girl.
okay, Lisa. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I get on these things. We come up with something and it's like there's so much. I just get so upset that the Smithsonian has to come in and cleanse our history, all of our information away from us. The more I look into it, the more I'd have to say they're one of the worst, evilest organizations because they don't want us to know, and they got to be all the
Well, Gemini
oppressors.
has a question.
Let me see. Are the Dogmen considered to be from the stars too?
Yes, they are another hybrid. There are various types. Some were created by government, some were naturally born here, possibly Egypt or whatever. But for the most part, there are also several kind that were created by the ET. They would be, from what they have said to me, this is not testing that I've done or anything like that, is that they would be a human ET and canine cross.
You've fallen from 3 stories before? Your first 2 stories didn't work out? I'm kidding.
You're lucky to be alive, Circle K.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of us. We're all lucky to be alive, I guess. Or are the people who have gone on lucky because they're not suffering at all anymore?
Yeah.
In a
Oh,
way, sometimes
anytime,
I
Gemini.
wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Dogmen. They've always been around me. I just have not had issues with them, and they have been extremely helpful at times. So, are there bad Dogmen? Yeah, I've talked to several that are, and I know areas where they have some grouchy ones, but I've been very fortunate.
Are they from the stars? Considered to
Yeah,
be from
that's
the
what I just
stars?
answered for Gemini. Answered that.
So I'm sitting here going, I did put, yeah, I did put in MeWe something I noticed because I saw, and I think I kind of relate the dogmen to Anubis because a lot of times when we hear dogmen, they're in a cornfield and they're near a mound. Okay. They're somehow, and it's almost as if they're patrolling the mounds, the there are these dogs, and I had put it in our MeWe chat. The Zolo dog. They were thought to be guardians of the dead. That that's the kind of dog they are. They're a black dog.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw Anubis, I looked at him and I
Night,
said,
babe.
he doesn't look like a jackal. And of course Marilena says um that is really not what he really looks like. However, the way he is presented as the jackal, I don't think it was a jackal. I think it was a Zolo. I suspect we're talking about the Zolo here because when I looked at those dogs, I said, that looks like him. That looks like what I saw. It didn't look like a jackal. It looked like a Zolo. It would make sense. Guardians of the dead. Because that's what Anubis is about. That was his job. That was part of his job. The dogmen, I've also looked into the dogmen being they they were a tribe that separated themselves. I guess the initial explorers over here found tribes of dogmen that were
Yeah.
initially friendly but kept themselves separate. So maybe they were native to here. I don't know. What do you
They,
think, Robin?
well, I know there's some that were brought here. I do know that there are some that were here from the beginning. There's some the government created. There's different, different ones out there. I mean, it's just like, again, we have men, black men, and Asian, Japanese. I mean, we have all different variants of humans as well. It's not any different. The same thing are with the forest people, and the same thing are with the dogmen. And then you have the werewolves on top of it. A werewolf doesn't have a tail, the dogmen do. Yeah, the wolf people, my understanding, and I could possibly be wrong, but it's the wolf people are just one of the variants of the dogmen, yes.
So, and then you mentioned in one of your photos you have something that is like half dogman, half Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, Trudy. She at that particular place where I lived, and even here, the dogmen and the Bigfoot, even if they're not like sitting down around the campfire singing, they share the same land. And in that particular case, we had a hybrid where one of the female forest people actually bred with a male dogman. She was the product of it. She had the tail like a dogman, but she did not have the long snout. She looked more like a teddy bear. The little tiny ears and a little bit of a snout.
Oh, that's
wow,
different.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, dog is God backwards.
Very true. So, explains why I like him so much.
Well, you know what? They are here supporting us, really. They're here to support us. That's one of the reasons they come here. They don't live as long as we do because, gosh, I mean,
the dogmen?
It's hard to live here. I don't know about the dogmen. No, I'm talking about the dogs and cats.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, dogmen live for, yeah, they have a very long life.
Dogmen, on the other hand, probably live a long time. That's a question. How long does Sasquatch usually live? How long do the forest people live?
Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
They can go from physical form into spirit form. There's several of them. If you ask them, will tell you they're 300 or 400 years old. And, but they're open to disease. Some of them die when they're 60, 70 years old due to disease, illness, whatever, injury. But yeah, they actually can live hundreds of years.
Sounds like maybe life on Lyra.
The ones that stay more physical and don't use a lot of the abilities, and this is again only my personal opinion, certain clans don't like to use the paranormal abilities. So when they're in physical form, I would think that they may have a long life, but not as long as when they use the paranormal. Because when you go into the paranormal and the dimensions and the changes of the energy and the vibration, that would help you live longer, is what I was told. But yeah, they can have quite a long life. Yeah, Gemini, they can. I've talked to several that, they're like, oh, well, I'm 250 years old. I'm 350 years old. And I'd have others that are like, well, I'm 112. And, then you have others that say, well, I'm 40 or I'm 50. There's a wide range, and they can. And Igor Vorstov, the ones that he talks to in Russia, and I've mind spoke with them, as has Pat, and 300 and 400 years old.
That makes sense. I think we've been artificially stunted somehow.
We have
a lot of it through chemicals.
It was a planned thing. We were living too long. Absolutely. And we were repopulating too quickly. And this is the result of it. I had read
out of hand.
I had read, whether it's true or not, I don't know, that in 2025, what was being put in our foods to do this and shorten our lifespan was supposed to be removed. I don't know if that's true. I have contacts all over the place.
2025?
Yeah, but I have contacts all over the place, and that is that information, I was not able to get
Okay,
confirmation of anybody. So that is just my opinion.
I have something to say about that. I have something to say about that. I have been told that we're going to see the start of it. Okay, I might as well do this. I was going to devote a show to this. I'm going to give you just the bare bones of this. We're going to have some big stuff happen this fall. I mean, big. And when I say fall, there are going to be some things that fall. Okay, I'm not going to give you particulars right here, but you can imagine some stuff is going to fall. When it does, it's going to fall hard. Just prepare yourself if you can, in whatever way you want to do that. But realize that there are going to be some big changes. During this time of the fall, we're going to be hearing of, I'm supposed to hear of where I'm going to be living next.
Oh, wow.
And by 25, I am at this juncture, this is what I'm told. I'm going to be moving again somewhere.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
where yet, but I'm going to hear about it this fall probably.
Cool.
And so it's going to take until 25, whatever the process is between this fall and 25, it's going to take that long for this process. Something is going to be happening. And really, I see right now for the fall, I see a lot of litigation. We'll have a show about this. Maybe the
I want
next
to
show.
answer. I want to answer Gemini real quick. Says, do
Sure.
the females still give birth in the later years? I am going to be honest with you. I can't give you 100% clarification on that. My understanding is they are able to give birth much longer than we are, as far as age wise.
That'll make
Do
sense.
I, they're still doing it at 100 and 200 years of age? I doubt it, but I'm not going to say no. Okay. I'm not going to say no on that. I have not gotten any concrete evidence or clarification from them on that. One just popped in
Maybe
my
they,
head and said no. I do know that they do give birth later on than we do.
I mean, we don't know. They could have a longer cycle than we do. They could have a
There's been some
different
dispute
cycle.
on that. I had one tell me that, their gestation is 11 months, but then I've had other people tell me it's the same as ours, it's 9. But then if you think about it, it's even us, we say it's 9 months, but it's actually 10 lunar months. So
Right.
that could be where the discrepancy is. So,
And then there's a little bit of wiggle room in there anyway, because I was late. I was supposed to be a Thanksgiving turkey and ended up a Christmas goose, I guess. But
yeah,
yeah, so sometimes we don't pop out quite when people expect,
yeah,
when you least expect. But
yeah.
yeah, I guess I put my mom to some bother even after the time than when I was supposed to come out. I just didn't want to come out, I guess. I'm just,
Just didn't,
maybe it's
wasn't
like,
feeling it.
maybe I had this, premonition. It's like, oh, hell no. Oh, God, do I really? Yeah, okay, I said I would. Okay, I will. Damn it. Damn it.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't believe that, at 11 or at 100 years old and 200 years old, they're still having babies. But I do believe that they probably can do it longer than what we do. I mean, because of their human side, they're going to have that where they're going to go through the menopause and they're not going to be able to have children. Do I think that they go later than us? I think it's entirely possible, but I'm not going to say that they go, 60, 70, 80 years old. I just don't
mm.
know. That is one of the few things that I have not asked them. And I have not ran across any that were in their 60s and 70s and still giving birth. So I would not be able to answer that.
You know what amazes me is, there's this part in the Bible where the womb gets, I forget which of the wives gets her womb reopened so she can give, and I'm thinking, God, would that be a bummer? You think it's all over. And then God says, you're going to have another. It's like, I can't,
Hey,
you
I
know.
had 9. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
But it's like, even after you're shut down, that it reopens again. So, I'm thinking, wow, as you get older, it gets harder it gets harder to chase them down and take care of them and, do all that. When I
Oh,
think
yeah.
of,
I don't have the stamina anymore. I don't
yeah,
have the stamina anymore.
Imagine
I
being
know
in the woods with a kid trying to keep
we
them in line,
we had there is one that is extremely close to Pat, and I'm close with him as well, but he really is real close to Pat. And he's older. He's an older foot. I work on his arthritis for him a lot. And Circle K, you're right. Their time isn't like ours. And in the winter times, he comes here where it's warmer. And his mate is older. And she's been here twice now with children. And I want to say in her late 40s, 50s. So I do believe that they are able to have them later. But we created time. So our timelines and what we call time is not the same as theirs. So, there's that to consider as well. What we consider a certain timeline doesn't match theirs.
And once again, this is a very sort of diffuse meaning of we, because really we cannot be sure about our timeline because we know that the Vatican has played with it quite a bit when they took over. When they took
Well, it's
over the
like,
whole wide world, they played
we-
with time. They added 1,000 years to the calendar.
right. But it's like we consider 24 hours a day.
Right.
When you talk to the forest people, it's the moon and a star or moon and the sun. And, it's different for them than it is us. We just have to understand that their sense of time is not our sense of time.
Well, I'm not sure that a cat or a dog has the same sense of time as we do. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they don't.
right.
Because they're just, you can be gone 5 minutes and they're still just as happy to see, oh my gosh, they're back. But
Yeah. Well, and
then there was a study done that as a child, did you remember when you were a kid, a day would be forever? An hour was long, and now we're adults and it's not anymore. There's a
yeah.
reason. We're doing a comparison.
Circle K, I think
So,
that's wonderful, by the way.
mhm,
I'm sorry, I'm seeing the questions and the statements.
you
I'm
know,
just trying to answer everybody. Welcome back,
but
Jean.
I'll try and put them up so the people know why you're saying that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
why
seeing the
you're
live chat at
answering
the
that.
same time. I just don't want anybody to feel like they're not being
Mine
paid
don't
attention
run
to.
at the same time. Mine run out of sync with YouTube, so I may or may not see them right away. Um, see, a StreamYard does, so there's a funny disparity between one and the other, between
Oh,
StreamYard and
okay.
YouTube. There's some kind of lag in between. Fortunately, there's not a lag in between like you and me talking. That really is nasty when you're trying to talk to
Yeah,
somebody and there's
yeah.
like, but yeah. Uh time, supposedly they did a study on this to a kid. What it is we relate time to how much time we have been on the earth. So if we're older, it seems to go faster. When we're younger, it seems to go slower because, well, then of course there's all kinds of things that change our perception of time.
Mm.
And once again, time is artificial. However, our perception of time has a lot to do with how much time we've lived. Now, you got to realize if you live hundreds or maybe thousands of years, and somebody who's lived a long time, hundreds of years, tells you soon, that could be years.
Mhm.
If somebody lives thousands of years and they go, oh, soon, that's like 5 minutes for them. It could be a decade for you. It's like, you don't know, man. I mean, time goes differently depending on how long you actually have lived. So, and how your attitude is. I mean, so many things affect time, our perception of time. It's ridiculous because it isn't real. But anyway, if we can only get that in our heads, we can be as young or as old as we want to be, I guess. My feeling is they show up for us, not themselves.
When you say show up, are you talking about they're on the planet for us, not themselves, or they show up where? Just so I know how to answer that.
I think it has to do with this. I've not seen them, but I've worshipped nature since I was a kid.
Well,
I
that
feel
was
that
for,
should.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, when they were on the planet, they were here to nurture the planet, to have their own lives. And do I think that they're here to help us in some way? I think that there are some that are. I don't think they all are. I think some of them just want to be, left alone to live their lives. This is their planet too, and we share it with them. Um, but it depends. I mean, you can't look at it
Well,
as
they
a
probably do
whole.
too, Circle K. I mean, probably. I mean, sometimes they've contacted Robin because they needed garlic.
Oh yeah. Yep. There was the big garlic thing and turmeric. They needed turmeric and 8:30 at night, and one of the kids was sick, and I said, well, why don't I just do the healing on it? And they said, well, you can, but we still need this. And so Pat and I are running around in the store and getting stuff. And then Duke Sullivan, he has a group that he interacts with up in the mountains, and he gets hold of me and he's like, okay, find out what they want me to bring them. And it's always apples, garlic, peanut butter, bacon, you name it. He gets a shopping list and he goes grocery shopping for them. So they, with the people that they're comfortable with, and there's a lot of us, I'm not the only one by a long shot, there's millions of people, they don't have a problem going to them and asking them for what they need. Jean, it has to do, and like in your case too, you're what they call pure of heart. They pick people to interact with based on their heart. That everybody has an energy signature. The energy signature will tell you if a person is well intended, if there's a dark side to them or whatever. And nobody's perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect person. It's all an illusion. But if someone has that good energy and a pure heart and is well intended, that is how they choose who they interact with.
Kind of looks to me like from the memories that they brought back to show me when they were there, when I didn't know they were there. It looks like they loved me even when nobody else did. So, um, because I went through a very dark time, and I think they were part of. It's almost like they felt sorry for me. Somebody felt sorry for me, and kind
And they
of
reached out to you. They reached out to you when they felt you needed them.
yeah.
Um, Circle K's got something to say if we can pull that up.
Which thing?
Right there. I tend to
Okay.
agree with you. I think that sometimes they do try to shake things up a bit to get people to move forward to the next level. And I
Yeah.
think that there are at times people that, for whatever the situation is, actually do need a circle just to wake themselves up to the possibility of things. So I really right on target with that. I mean, that's only my opinion. I have nothing to base on, but from what I've learned and what I've seen, Circle K, I actually agree with you on that. But I do
Yeah.
think things about them. I really do believe that you do.
I
Um,
think
you
you do.
you know that they're around and they're very, very subtle. And I think that with them just being around you, it's teaching you about them. It's everything is a progression. Nobody knows all of it. There are no, I don't care what anybody tells you, there are no experts. There just isn't. And I feel like you do know more about them than what you realize. Just from the conversations that I've had with you on here, you're right on target on a lot of stuff. So, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth, is you do know about them and you're learning from them because they are around you. They can very subtly teach you without you even being aware that they're teaching you. So
That's
don't sell
true.
yourself short. Really, don't sell
That's
yourself
true.
short.
I didn't know I was in contact with them for years until just a few years ago. Just like maybe 2, 3 years ago. I had no idea it had been them all along that I had been talking to out in the forest. I had no idea. And the answers I was getting was from them. They were giving me the answers about. They were telling me. I'm honestly,
One second, I'm sliding down here on this chair.
whoa.
I
There
had to
goes
move for a
Robin.
second.
She's slowly,
Yeah,
she's getting that
I was getting
sinking
really
feeling.
uncomfortable.
But yeah, you may know more than you think you do. It's like somehow I
Yeah,
know
it's
more than I
possible
thought I
Circle
ever
K
did. I don't know why.
Well, Circle K just made a comment. He said, I probably was one in a past life. Don't rule it out. Okay.
Yeah.
We are all reincarnated. And when I say that, he's pretty hairy. When I say that we're all reincarnated, that doesn't mean we come back as a human every single time. We can come back as a plant. We can come back as an animal. We can come back as an ET. My own personal belief is that we've come back multiple times and we've experienced multiple realities, whether it's an animal or an ET or a plant or what have you. So it is very possible. I'm still
I
pretty
believe
hairy.
it. I believe it. I could have been one in another. There, you know what? It's funny because there's so many things. There are some things that are very similar. Although I'm not a very hairy person, there are some ways of thinking that are so similar that I don't know if it's because I've been influenced by them all my life without knowing about it, or like I have this almost compulsion to put things back in the earth. That, food and stuff, to put it back on to let it, reseed, and to let, I really, and I really have trouble with trash, with people trashing, and I have trouble with with us creating so much trash that'll never recycle. I have, trouble wasting things. I have trouble, it's just there's some things that it's like I'm not sure. I know I didn't get it from my mother. I know, really, I didn't get it from, where did I get this from? Was I, what life was I in where this was all, because some people think I'm pretty weird for some of this because I want to throw, but if my berries go moldy, I throw them out in some area somewhere where they can grow into bushes, and they
Yeah.
have grown into bushes. I mean, that's what I want to do. And you know what? I always want to do that. I know I can't always do that, but I always want to do that. Why? I don't know.
Well, I've got
But
about 10 minutes left because my battery's getting low. So if there's
yeah,
any more questions, I want to make sure we address
have we
them.
got questions? Pretty hairy. Well, maybe you're pretty hairy. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. The Sasquatch would probably think you were quite cute, even at that, right? You know, I don't see them running around shaving themselves, getting a Brazilian wax or anything. I don't see them doing that, right?
I think Jean Hudson had something she posted.
Okay, it just came up.
I believe that 100%.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I can kind of see that, but I don't think it might get worse before it gets better.
Well, I think that's what
Oh,
we're doing
she
right
died
now.
12 years ago. I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
yeah, in
think
that
that's what's
case,
going on
yeah,
now.
she was right about that. But I think they're going to get better after a certain point because when the blinders come off, it's going to be kind of
Well,
evident.
and what goes down goes back up. Life is a roller coaster. It bounces like a ball. Which the only thing you're guaranteed is that it's going to go down and back up and down and back up. And that is the balance of good and evil. It is what it is. We just have to pray that when it hits those low spots where it's bad and it's evil, that we can survive it because it
Well,
can
we
get pretty dicey.
we actually have the yugas and the ages, if you want to believe the Hindu, I guess it's the Rig Veda, where they talk about the ages, where that we have these ages, these golden ages, and then we devolve down into these horrible dark yugas, and then we re-evolve back up into a golden age. We're on the
Oh,
upswing right now. We're on the upswing right now. So since 2012, we've been slowly on the upswing. So I think any downswing is going to be corrected at some point. So
I have to
supposedly
believe
we're
that.
on the upswing.
Yeah, I'm a woman of faith, and so I have to believe that.
Yeah. That there'll be a spiritual war before it gets better. We're in that already.
Yeah, and
I've
I think
been in that for years now. Jeez.
yeah, and the Force people have talked about that as well.
Hmm. That we're in it right now. That
Well,
we've
yeah,
been in it.
there will be a spiritual war. I mean, the big battle's going on, and it's going to come down to things. It's not just spiritual, but that will be one of the components. Yes.
Get your surfboard. Oh yeah, the turkey pan theory. You're feeling it today. Well, the Louise Hay turkey pan theory. When you're cleaning a turkey pan and you put the hot water and you start scrubbing it, it'll look even worse for a while before you finally
Okay.
get it.
Then you have my turkey pan theory. I refuse to cook a turkey in a regular pan. If it's not a foil pan, I can pitch. It's not getting cooked. I have scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed on those turkey pans, and this girl is not doing it anymore. I will go to the store and buy nothing but foil pans and cook whatever meat I want because I hate scrubbing the pans. Fortunately, I have this wonderful husband that is much, much stronger than me. And so when it comes to scrubbing the pans, I'll be like, and I don't have a lot of strength in my arms anymore due to some medical issues. And so I'll be like, I'm just not strong enough for, either he buying the foil pans and they get pitched.
Well, I've learned how to use cast iron pans, and you can get
Now,
them
cast
clean by
iron, I like
just.
very much,
I
to make
love
your
cast
cornbread.
iron. You can throw them in the oven, put the oven on
Oh,
self-cleaning mode,
wonderful.
and where it goes
Yeah.
really high, and everything turns to char, and then you just wipe it off, and your pan is clean.
Yep.
That's all that you do with those. So I love them. But anyway, Civil War is coming. I agree. That is probably on the way. I have seen
Yeah. It's very possible.
it's already probably started because we've already got. However, how we react to that is still our choice. Okay. Remember, oceandiana@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me. And if you have a guest that you'd like to see on here, or if you are a guest you'd like to be on here, please get in touch with me. I want to say that before I forget again. Ocean Diana, like you see it there, only at Gmail. Okay. And you only have a few minutes left, you say, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of I'm plugged in, so I'm okay, but we got to think about you. Yeah, I had to come into the bedroom and plug in because my phone is not charging fast.
Yeah.
Um, get your last questions in, folks, because her battery's dying.
Yeah. Thank you,
You
gentlemen.
got
I'm
any?
glad you enjoyed it. You're welcome, Jean, anytime, sweetie. Yeah, I've got,
We're going to have her on again. Don't worry. We'll have
I
Robin
thought
on
I
again.
charged everything, and then it's just been a really crazy busy day here, and I didn't get it charged, and I thought that I did, and so that was my fault. But we made it a couple hours, so that was a good thing.
Cast iron, good. And I love the thought that in 200 years, if people still make fire, they could still use a pan that I cooked on today.
There you go.
In 200 years, it'll still be a pan. It'll still resemble a pan, and probably you could still cook on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions? Get them in before our phone dies. Okay, I think it's run down.
You're
You
very
are going to
welcome,
come
Jean.
back, right, Robin? Don't scare everybody by saying no.
No, I mean, I will. I'm not sure when I'll get back on. I've got, it's just been really crazy here, but I will be back eventually.
Yeah, she'll be back eventually. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I'm around usually.
yeah, we'll see. And another Wednesday, some other Wednesday,
Yeah,
and once again, I'm looking for people I'm looking for people to illuminate us. So let me know if you know somebody like that, and let me know if you know somebody, Robin. I mean, you might run into
sure.
somebody.
Yeah. And Circle K, it was
Um,
great to hang out with you as well. I always enjoy talking to you. But
you guys are
don't sell
wonderful.
yourself short. You definitely are learning from them.
I believe so. I believe so too. I believe everybody who is touched by them is learning something.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a good way or a bad way, you're learning something.
Yep. And Mary, I agree with you. Love is our superpower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to have more superpowers, so I've already seen it. That's for another show, though. Okay. And by the way, Robin, if you ever want to come in and talk about a subject that's not Sasquatch, you can do that too.
Okay, appreciate
I
it.
am going to have a few. I am going to have a few that are going to be a little bit different look at it. So because I think it needs to come up and we need to talk about it. So love you guys. And Robin, thank you so much for spending your
Oh, thank
time
you
with
for
us.
having me. Everybody have a good
You're
night.
one of our favoriteest guests.
Oh, thank you. And if anybody does come up with any questions, if you go on the YouTube link where it has comments and you have a question, I do check those after I do a show, no matter whose show I do. So I do try to go for a while and look to see if there's any extra questions. So if you put them on there, I'm more than happy to answer it. If you feel like you need to talk to me more than just on that, you can email me at RLYNNE and then a period, FOREST, forest people at gmail.com. And I always respond.
You know what? We need to put that probably somewhere in the comments afterwards or somewhere. We need to put that somewhere. But
Hang on one
we need to
second
put all this
while we're
somewhere.
talking before you go off, and I'm going to put it in the comment right now.
Okay.
Oh,
Right. I should put mine in there too, but I can't do that right now.
Please remember between the E and the F to put a period, because if you don't put that period in, I don't get it.
Okay.
So it's rlyn.forestpeople@gmail.com. But it's in there. If anybody wants to, they don't have to, but I get people that occasionally will try to find a way to reach out to me and say, how can I get hold of you? So it's just, I tell people, if you want to, it's there. If you don't worry about it. But if you do think of a question afterwards, simply put it in the comment or email me, and I'll respond to either one.
Mm-hmm. I really could use some help doing this stuff because I can't think of it. I'm sorry. I'm doing absolutely everything on this show. I'm not to the point yet where I can think of everything.
Yeah.
I'm not organized enough to have probably half the things in here that I should probably have. I should have all the information and but it's just,
get there. It takes time.
I'm working on it, guys. I'm working. And if anybody wants to help with that, please let me know. Because, I could use the help, honestly. I am trying, but it's like, to me, I was not born. I was born during the time when people still had rotary phones, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? I remember rotary phones. My first conversation was on a rotary phone. So,
everybody take care, and I will talk to you again at a later date. And God bless everybody. And for all those that have lost somebody, my prayers and my sympathy are with you. So God bless everybody.
Right. And yeah, pray for everybody. Put them on a list. We need a doggone list right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some on this show. If you are, would you consider like, share, subscribe, and let your friends know and invite them over? There's always room for more. And remember that you are divine. You are creators. Create well. Keep your thoughts, on the straight path. And may you always find what you need when you need it. I don't know where that came from, but that's somebody's wish right now. Okay, thank you, whoever that is. May you always find what you need where you need it, when you need it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Right, take care, everybody. God bless.
Next show.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.